Hey Canucks fans, the happiest person around might be Bo Horvat. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, February the 18th. And yes, we're continuing to sort out our feelings, our excitement, our emotions, our nervousness with this Tyler Toffoli trade. Once again, to recap, the Canucks acquiring Tyler Toffoli from the Los Angeles Kings, and in return, go Tim Schaller, the rights to Tyler Madden, the 2020 second round draft pick, and then a conditional fourth round pick in 2022 if the Canucks re-sign Tyler Toffoli as Toffoli becomes a UFA on July the 1st. And a lot of people are understandably talking about, oh, we gave up too much, or we're going all in, oh, Jim Benning's trying to save his job. And I think I don't want to say there's an element of truth, but I can understand where people are coming from. I take the tack that, as I tweeted out yesterday, the West is wide open. The Canucks have as good a chance as anyone of coming out of at least the Pacific Division. I should have said the Pacific Division is wide open. So the Canucks have as good a chance as anyone coming out of the Pacific Division, get into a third round, playoff hockey. Toffoli, a right-handed shot, a bona fide top six forward, chemistry with Pearson. As much as you guys people might like Tyler Madden, maybe the Canucks brass didn't see him unseating Adam Gaudette anytime soon. A lot of other good forward prospects in Podkolzin, Höglander, and Lind. So there's a lot. You could see why the Canucks made this trade. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that they could push for a playoff spot and do some damage potentially this season. But I get the concern that there's no draft picks until the third round this year. But of course, there's a lot of time for Jim Benning to recoup some of those draft picks. I get that Tyler Madden could turn out to be a good player, but he might not even sign with the Kings. But we can talk about it another time. So I get that there's a lot of pieces. Tim Schaller, maybe not so as much as I like him a lot. Nice guy, but he's not going to move the needle much for any team. So. Overall, I do like the trade still. I still have the same feeling and the same excitement that I did yesterday. I do like this trade, and I think Toffoli can do a lot of things. And I led with Bo Horvat being the most excited maybe of anyone, because now he's got a bona fide right winger. Like he's had a couple, not to say Brock Boeser isn't of course Boeser's a bona fide right winger, but Horvat has never had really an extended time with Boeser, maybe just 2 or 3 years ago when they played with Berchi. But since then, you look at all the guys that Horvat's played with, everyone from Eriksson to McEwen to Virtanen, a lot of guys. Mott's played up there. So there's been a lot of guys that have played on that right wing. And they're decent players, but no one of the stature, aside from Boeser, no one with the stature of Tyler Toffoli that's played with Bo Horvat regularly. So I see Toffoli and Pearson being reunited, 2/3 of that 70s line. No Jeff Carter, but now we have Bo Horvat, our captain. So I expect that to be the second line. I expect until Boeser gets back, and I'll talk about that in a sec, until Boeser gets back, it will be Pettersson, Miller, and Virtanen. This is my guess, but we'll find out, I guess, at practice. And then you'll see Tyler Toffoli on the first power play unit, likely bumping off Brandon Sutter, because like a right shot, so he can play, receive the centering passes, both from Pettersson or Pettersson on his right, likely, or Horvat maybe down below, and then a nice right-handed shot for those one-timers from the right side, and even from the slot as well. So Toffoli's a good goal scorer. He has 18 goals this season. He's had a 58-point season, so bona fide second-line player, and good veteran, 27 years old, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this team. Because right now, basically, for this season, you're swapping out Schaller and you're bringing in Toffoli. So obviously, it's a win for this season. I know, obviously, people are concerned about what's going to happen going forward, especially if Tyler Toffoli does not re-sign. But we have a lot of time to convince him to indeed stay here in Vancouver. Okay, so there's that. There's Tyler Toffoli. The other big news, the Canucks were making a lot of news yesterday, is that they announced bad news on the injury front for 2 forwards. Number one, Michael Ferland. He will be shut down for this season. And it's what I anticipated when we heard the bad news on Friday night, that he got pulled out of the Utica game. And maybe I jumped too far. I actually suggested that it might be the end of his career. And I wasn't trying to be over dramatic. I was really concerned for him at the time, maybe speaking out of that concern. But it makes sense that we take it one step at a time, that he's shut down for this season. Let him work hard over the offseason if he wants to indeed come back, and then progress. Give him a good 6-month window to come back, as opposed to 4 or 6 weeks. And I'm not at all saying the Canucks rushed him. It was everything I've heard is Michael Ferland who wanted to go to Utica. Michael Ferland who wanted to get back so badly. It wasn't anyone rushing him to see if he could play before the trade deadline. But Michael Furlan indeed out for the season, which is good from a standpoint of want him to recover mentally, physically, emotionally, and come back, if he does decide to come back, stronger and 100% healthy, with no doubt, as much as you can say that with concussions. And then the other big news, Brock Boeser, he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So he's already been out a week. He has a fractured rib cartilage, so broken rib doesn't sound great, very painful. But that's kind of what we thought, that it would be a rib or a shoulder as opposed to a hand or a wrist, given that he was shaking hands and he looked okay at Dyson Ice. But yeah, so that's a big blow to the Canucks. So 3 weeks and he gets reevaluated. Hopefully that means 3 weeks and he can play. But the worst case, I always say, right, hope for the best and expect the worst, plan for the worst. It could be 4-6 weeks until he's back. So that makes this Tyler Toffoli signing, even more important, because especially they anticipate Boeser being out for about a month or so, all in total. So imagine when Boeser comes back, then you have a top 9 that's really solid. You have Pettersson, Miller, Boeser, Horvat, Toffoli, Pearson, and a third line of Gaudette, Roussel, and Virtanen. Then the fourth line of guys like Beagle and Sutter and Mott and Eriksson and McEwen. Yeah, not the best players, but that's why they're a fourth line, right? So I do look forward to the day that Boeser gets back. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing Toffoli at practice today and seeing him in game action tomorrow when the Canucks host Minnesota. Lastly, I should have led with this, but I did ask a poll question on Twitter as soon as the Canucks made the trade. Got over 800 votes already, and I basically said, what do you think of the Toffoli trade from the Canucks standpoint? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Or do you hate it? Gave 4 options, and 80% of you either love it or like it. It's 21% love it, 59% like it, 14% dislike it, and only 6% hate. So you look at the two extremes, 21 love it, 6% hate it. So more people love it than hate it. And then in the middle, 59%, that's the big number you want to look at. 59% like this trade. So 21% love it, 59% like it. 80% of Canucks fans, at least on my Twitter, and you expect it because I'm, founder of the GLCPC, 80% of the people either love or like this trade. And I think we'd agree. We like what it does for the Canucks this season. The proof in the pudding, so to speak, will be what happens going forward. So Canucks fans, let me know what you think. I probably won't vlog later after the practice, but I'll probably tweet out anything interesting that comes from combos or anything like that. But I want to continue this conversation. I'll catch up on all the YouTube comments from yesterday's video later today. What do you think of this trade now that you've had a day to think about it? Do you worry about the return? Do you worry about what we give up? And will Toffoli be someone who helps push us into the playoffs and maybe win a round or two? Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply. As always, I appreciate all the engagement on here, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos and to type something out down below. So leave a comment. I love getting those. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Enjoy the day. God bless, and go Canucks go.